No joke, I think Ernst might be one of my favorite characters of this part of the anime season of 86, because usually when you have a character with a very strong ideal mindset of like really wanting to be a good person, very righteous, often you could look at a character, especially someone like Ernst, who's in a position of essentially controlling a nation, and that type of ideals, you could argue, well, that's going to get the nation and himself destroyed, killed, maybe even a fate worse than death. But when a nation's built on those ideals, and you have a man who would be more willing to destroy the nation should the nation betray what they were founded on, you really get a unique character that I don't find myself being able to compare to anyone I've really seen outside of the 86 anime. Because you can look at Lena, you can look at Lena's uncle, and the way they perceive the 86 and how they live their life. And that's a similar kind of like polar opposite version of Ernst. But outside of 86, I really can't compare something quite like that. Because really, I mean, when he was initially introduced to this anime, many people, myself included, were thinking it was too good to be true. And it turns out it wasn't. It's just there definitely is more layers to the guy. I didn't think he'd be willing to destroy his own nation should they ever betray what they were founded on. But I really appreciate how genuine he feels and how what he's saying about making sure they come back home. I mean, it really is. If those 86 don't come back home, I don't think that nation will survive Ernst's raft. And that's incredible. That's top tier. Some of the best shit I've seen in the 86 anime out of every episode, hands down, no joke. Now, there's going to be another delay, so next week, no 86 episode, and then we'll come back in. And I know there's going to probably be a lot of either outrage or, you know, people are going to try to make these crazy theories about how the production's going off the rails. When you really look at how crazy the action in 86 is, how many moving parts there is, how into the production A1 goes. The fact that next week's episode, or what should have been next week's episode, is being set up as essentially a non-stop action set piece, and probably the biggest action set piece we've seen to date, it's no surprise that the remaining action episodes are probably going to suffer delays. And I'm always a firm believer that we should have delays rather than rushing out a product. In a perfect world, we could, have anime take the exact amount of time it needs. They did take their time. They were already planning to have a break in the middle of December before all these unexpected ones happened. So for me, I'm willing to wait. I'd wait 6 months for the next episode need be. I'm just loving the quality and the passion in this writing. And to have an episode that wasn't really action-filled past the last couple of minutes, it was all about really where the characters' mindsets are at. And really, once again, diving into those 86 mentality, because they are just teens who have known nothing other than the battlefield, so they haven't had the time to get adjusted to what normal life is. So they feel like their pride needs to have them basically die on the battlefield because that's what they're good for, but they're good for so much more. And the PTSD of war is really sinking in. And while the nation that they're currently fighting for isn't perfect, and many will look down upon them, and the allies of their nation will call them bad names, ultimately I do believe what was said, that, no one wants them to die. That's why they rescued them in the first place. That's why the nation is built on that ideal mindset. And it's interesting because should they all come back, which seems unlikely, right? I mean, them winning is a real possibility now that they have their secret weapon, this prototype that essentially can get them there in 9 minutes, I think is what was said in this episode. The speed, the shaky camera when all the characters were kind of dealing with the force of them kind of being on the move, it's crazy. They actually have a legit chance of getting to their destination. And then it's all a matter of if they're skillful enough to destroy the Morpheo. And if so, ultimately they will have won. But winning doesn't mean surviving. So the fact that they really put that on the table of like, I'm gonna destroy a nation, or, so many of these characters feel like if they didn't all come back alive, there would be a riot. I'm very curious to see if all of them can survive once again, because it wouldn't be the first time they kind of came out of an impossible situation. And I'm crossing my fingers all of them do. You don't need character deaths for this show to be engaging. I mean, just having the possibility be there keeps the adrenaline running through all of our veins, right? So I'm excited to see what's going to happen, because Shin especially is someone who is having a hard time, probably having the hardest time of them all. I mean, that scene with him and Frederica, and just the fact that she doesn't want to lose another big brother. That scene where she threw her teddy bear, it turns on the lights, and you see all the drawings of basically Shin and her, and the brother and everything like that. It's just, you really want these characters to have a normal life. And the unfortunate thing as a viewer is you know damn well that if the 86 aren't the ones to go on this mission, there's no one skillful enough to be able to accomplish it, especially for Shin, who hears all those voices. And I can't be the only one. When the credits started to play, and you're hearing the voices on the radio, they're not running away, which is the complete opposite of what they're used to back in their original fighting environment. They would let them die and just drink beer and things like that. No, even as they're saying these horrible things to them, they're giving their life so that these horrible 86, these monsters, can give theirs for the mission. And it's something that, like, as much as they may not like each other, the alliance that has been formed here seemingly is unbreakable, that they would rather all die. And it's very different because when you think about how Core 1 was structured, the same things are basically being said, but there was no help to be seen. Where here you have all the help you want, but still the same things being said. But then you have this kind of leader who very much feels genuine about how he feels, and many of them, I mean, the fact that this girl actually is driving this thing, I mean, the fact that she really wants to give them a fighting chance, and not only that, I mean, if they're going back on the battlefield, she is too, and she really wants them to come back home and experience a normal life. And when the voices started appearing, you were just looking at Shin's face, and then it goes to this distorted image as the episode ends. Like, that was just with the music, the ending song, it just kind of seeps into your heart, and it makes you feel a little uneasy as you also have the voices playing. The directing and everything about this show is just so top tier, and I'm not sure exactly if everyone can come back. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if either most died, or one died next episode, or maybe none will. I don't know, but that's the thing about 86, is that no one's safe, but they don't abuse character deaths. They make you worry that everyone could die in a moment's notice, but they also really let you feel like anything's possible, and if characters do all come back alive, you don't feel cheated like they had to die or anything like that. This might be a suicide mission, but they incorporated a unique prototype that would get them there safely and effectively and very quickly, and their skills very well could take them home to safety. It's hard to say, but everything right now is going according to plan, but that's when we let our guards down and they hit us with the feels. I am really loving 86. I really think this show is pure quality, from the musical directing, the sound effects, the voice acting, the animation. I mean, this episode isn't going to be the most pretty episode of the entire franchise, but given what type of episode it was, the moments that needed that extra little oomph in terms of directing, I think they gave. And it really was just kind of like a departure episode and a goodbye episode, all things considered. And it's just a matter of if they get a welcome back or not. But it would be very, very interesting to see if all of them did come back alive, what they would look at the future as, because the future's been something they've had a very hard time with, Shin himself especially, because their clocks have basically run out. They should be dead already. And now there's this nation that essentially is what they always believed they wanted to see, but they don't feel like they can fit in. But it really is just a matter of time, and if they could heal, it's just when a battle rages on, it's hard to, feel like you shouldn't be a part of that battlefield when your PTSD's kicking in. But I did like what Ernst said, that, you have to survive until the end, and this isn't the end of the war. This is just one of the biggest parts of it. So maybe they will come back. It's hard to say, but incredible, incredible episode. It definitely sucks that we have to wait another week, and it probably won't be the last time either, but still, I'm perfectly fine waiting for quality, and quality is what the 86 anime is. But let me know your thoughts and feelings, favorite moment, any analysis you might have on the episode and themes, let me know down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you're new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.